right now, Mr. Kelvin Kimathi is actually standing by with Nick Mwendwa, that's the FKF chairman. Want to tell us about what has transpired during the AGM they had today. Yes, it ended a little bit maybe quickly, but we still have no idea what they discussed. But Mr. Kelvin, if you can hear me, what went down at the AGM?
Yes. Well, Nick, it's all about football matters here at the Safari Park Hotel, where the annual general meeting of the Kenya Federation, that is the Kenya Football Federation, just ended a few minutes ago. And it's brought together stakeholders from different parts of this country when you talk matters of football, from different branches, representative from almost all the 20 branches of the Football Kenya Federation. The main agenda being the electoral code. Of course, the current Football Kenya Federation leadership came with some suggestions that they needed to adopt ahead of the Football Kenya Federation presidential elections that are set for December later on this year. Some of the suggestions in that electoral code, it is that you must have a presidential running mate if you're running for the presidential seat, and also you must get support from at least 5 of the 20 FKF branches, and also you must get support from one Kenya Premier League club, one National Super League club, one Division 1 club, and one Women's Premier League club. And right now I'm joined by the Football Kenya Federation president. Just talk more about the just ended annual general meeting. Nick, you had a successful meeting today. What do you make of that meeting?
Fantastic support from members, well organized, full house, 72 members on board. 3 clubs only didn't show up for different reasons. And I'd say that not a single agenda had even a single opposer. And that goes to tell you how we have streamlined politics around the federation. For 30 years, 20 years, an AGM like this was a war zone. To find members seated with one mind, with one direction, knowing exactly where the pitfalls are, knowing exactly what we need to do, knowing the kind of support required from every member and where we're going to head. It's fantastic to see for football that there is no longer those things that we used to do, that we wanted to finish and we have done. That now we are in an election year, the final AGM before a new term for new people who can take office. That the support is like no other time before. It tells that even in the gloomy times, we know what we have done and the great things we have achieved. And I want to thank the members for showing that support to us, for saying that we want to continue where we are and move forward and take the game to the next level. I think it speaks volumes and sends a statement to anyone out there that football is a different zone now.
And with the elections coming up, all your agendas being passed without opposition, what does that mean to you specifically? I mean, running for the elections again?
We're going to wait to see if there is opposition, and we will compete if there is. And we have a few days to know who those opponents will be. Then we all have to satisfy what members have passed now. We have an electoral board starting work from Tuesday, whose job now is to independently conduct this process. Within 60 days, they must finish, as per FIFA rules. And when they finish, it means by 7th of December, we are done with this election. We've had people going to court. And because we have done things properly, and as per the laid down regulations, they have lost. And so we're standing on good ground as regards to procedure, as regards to elections, as regards to fairness, which is what this is about. And I'm going to wait to see who our challengers are. This is a national election covering every county now. We're going to 48 counties, because Nairobi now has got two counties. And I'd like to say that the people of football know that big things have been done in the last 4 years. We've moved from mediocrity to being a proper federation. We now have a federation that can organize a proper AGM. We now have competitions, and just in this period alone, we have Harambee Stars starting camp tomorrow in this very hotel. We have the Starlets played 0-0 against Ghana yesterday. And we have in a few hours, maybe in an hour, the under-20 in the finals of the under-20, regional under-20 championships in Uganda. And on Tuesday, we have the return leg against Ghana, Starlets against Ghana at Kasarani. We have the national referee test program starting on Monday in Machakos. And we have just finished on Friday the first of its kind national CAF seat training in Thika, in Eldoret, and Nakuru that just ended on Friday. And so that tells you that despite the intense, the serious lack of somehow we find a way to move the game forward, to get big things done, to stick to our agenda, and know that in the coming years, these things will become normal to us. And to foster unity around the game, around the KPL issues that we've had, that we are now saying to them next year, we want to be under one roof. We want to drive the game as a unit. We want them to be part of us so that if you are not in the game, then you are actually out of it. And there's no disquiet outside the game. Disquiet is only amongst ourselves in competition and for good health. And I am looking forward to doing that in the next 4 years. Once members agree that we're going to do this.
And talking about the financial struggles at the moment, there isn't really some good news in the Kenyan football at the moment. Sponsors are quitting. NSL Bamba just put off their contract with National Super League. You talk about the former Harambee Stars head coach, Amruche, being paid over 100 million by the Football Kenya Federation. What do you make of that specifically about the Amruche issue? Does the federation have the money to sort out that issue?
The issue of Adele Amruche goes to government. We cannot pay those kind of monies. This is a mistake that was committed by the previous regime. It has the potential to cost us our slot for 2022, Qatar. We are engaged with government to say, look, this is the potential seriousness of this matter, and we would like them to proceed and sort it out for us. Never again, like I have said, shall we ever have that kind of situation, because now every coach will have a 2-month notice, even if they are from wherever they are. And if they can't take it, they will leave and the contract will not be done. So we are gearing up to closing up those mistakes. In terms of sponsors, it's an economic issue. You see companies shutting down, not only betting, companies shutting down, companies sacking employees, and the economic situation is dire. It's not just within football. It is everywhere. The situation is tough for everybody. But football continues to soldier on, because football will live on with or without money. We don't have money, but it's being played every day. 6,000 clubs participate in this country, play without shoes or with shoes, play with money or without money. One football is enough. Even without a referee, kids play football. It is dark in terms of finances, but it cannot be dark for long. It can only be dark for a period of time, and then it will get better and be bright and be morning. And so we know we have to lay the ground and work for that. That's what we're doing at FKF. Look at
what you've achieved in the federation for the last few years, that you've been the president of FKF. Do you feel that you've done good enough?
We have done, I didn't think we will do what we have done. Cup of Nations after 15 years. Cup of Nations for women for the first time ever. U20 finals today. U15 finals 2 months ago. 2,000 coaches trained, never done before. Now doing CAF C, going on to CAF B, and going on to CAF A train, so we can have enough coaches to do this. Fantastic training for referees in the last 4 years. Super slots in CAF for our referees doing Champions League matches and doing this kind of things. The first time U15 and U13 leagues across the country. For the first time, centralized center of excellence for our under 15 that's never been done before. These things are unheard of in Kenyan football. And we have done, it is not enough. There is more room for growth. I am looking forward for another 10 years to see the impact that we shall leave in the Kenyan game, and I am positive.
And finally, as we talk about the next 10 years, maybe briefly you can tell us what's new. What are you going to make sure that you achieve in the next few years if you are elected the president?
So one is going forward to deal with the debt in this federation for these 4 years, to put it behind us, to run a sound and going concern FKF. Extremely important. Secondly, youth. Pick up the queue on U13, U15 for boys and for girls with our women program now that we are doing with FIFA. Most important, that is the base. Then move on to advanced coaches training. Continue with that program, complete it, get to CAF A. This must be done in the next 2-3 years. Referees, inclusivity. We just closed referees training for Abadeas and Nairobi branches. So many new referees, young boys coming into the profession, trying to turn it around and do it. Continue with grassroots program around Chapadimba and around those under 13, because that is where the life of the game is. Competitions. Try to qualify for 2021 Cup of Nations. Top of agenda. We play in Cairo against Egypt on 11th. We have Mozambique 1 week from today. From tomorrow, the players are going into camp. Try to qualify for that. Try to qualify for 2020 Women Cup of Nations. That is going to be end of next year. We are now on the road to qualify for 2020 Olympics for the first time if we can beat Ghana and qualify for the next 2 rounds. And then continue to qualify for the first time for age group tournaments at CAF and FIFA level. These things are big. Football is like a government. We try to make the steps that we can. You cannot complete it in 4 years. Yeah. It needs 10 years of work. I will do my part to lay the base that we need to have so we can springboard for our kids tomorrow. With all these challenges, something can still be done.
Okay, thank you very much, and all the best in the upcoming elections later on in December. Now, Mudimba, that's the Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa talking about today's annual general meeting. Of course, he's impressed with the meeting because you look at the agendas that he came with into the meeting, they've all been passed without opposition. Now, that's a big deal. That sends a message to the opposition because this has never been witnessed before. They have always had issues when it comes to the Football Kenya Federation annual general meeting. Back to you, Nick.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin Kimathi, for that. Yes, you've had it all, and as it is, Nick Mwendwa is optimistic that indeed good is coming.